All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today. We are going to be talking about organizing your retail inventory for virtual sales. So in today's, state with the coronavirus, we've come up with a list of, different solutions that you can potentially start to offer your patients. And so we're super excited to take everyone through that today. Anything else you want to add, Tiffany?
No, I think if you're already an aesthetic record user, some of this will be really intuitive and you'll understand it just immediately when you see it. If you're not a current user, we'll go not super fast, but we'll kind of go through a couple things that may seem foreign to you. So we have our team on the call with us right now too. So if you see something that you don't understand, if you'll go to our website and just put in a chat, we'll get back with you ASAP after the webinar and try to set up time to either go through it with you in more detail, to demo with you, give you a better understanding of our overall system. So if it's fast, don't feel like we're leaving you behind. Just know that we have people who are standing by all day, every day to help you as you go through your AR journey. So I know we had an issue maybe last week about you're going so fast, but I think it's just because we're trying to cover as much as we can on the big chunks, while also giving you a good overview of how to use the system. So if we leave you behind, don't panic. We'll get you caught up. So that's all I have to say. Let's rock and roll, baby.
All right, so kind of just a recap. So for today, we are going to be taking you through, a few ways that you can start to connect with your patients virtually. We'll go through some revenue opportunities that you have within your practice, whether that be with current active memberships, maybe some different ways that you can start to utilize those. And then we're also going to take you through the convenience of using all these new features that we've come up with and recently released. So we will get started.
Just real quick, I don't know, can you do a hand raise in the system? Is there a choice? I'm curious if anybody who's on the call right now that's using memberships or treatment plans in their practice actively. Oh, 2 raise their hand. Look at you guys, so tech savvy. Okay, only 2 of you raise your hand, so we're going to blow your mind today with some options. Good, I like that. Oh, 3, we got 3, okay. So I digress. Carry on, just curious. We're going to show you both of those today and how you could work retail products into a treatment plan to start some recurring revenue like ASAP. So carry on.
So for today, we will start off with taking everybody through inventory. So we want to show you how you can build some different maybe skincare kits or packages that you can offer along with any other virtual products that you would like to implement into your practice. And then we'll take you through how do I actually create a virtual service. So that is, if you are new right now, that is something we just released about a week ago, so telehealth. So that allows you to do virtual meetings with your patients in a HIPAA compliant platform. And then we'll also take you through how do you actually log the encounter with your patient. And that will give you a place to really notate the entire encounter with your patient. If they buy skincare products at the time of that consultation, you can take a payment through the system. We'll take you through treatment plans. So this will be an additional revenue opportunity for your practice if you're not already using it. We'll talk about memberships, and we'll then take you through inventory reconciliation. So we've also added more bells and whistles to inventory. So we'll take you through that today as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get my AR screen pulled up here.
Let's see.
Maybe my computer's moving a bit slow. Alrighty. Tiffany, can you see my screen?
I sure can.
All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to start off first uploading inventory. So if you haven't done so already, or if you're offering any skincare products at this point in time, you'll want to add your inventory into the system first. So when we get in here, we're just going to the inventory tab, and we are on the control center of the account, so keep that in mind. So from this section here, you'll notice that we can add in different categories. So for example, if we wanted to add in, color science, if that's not already in your account, it should be. You can add that in. Now, you will notice up here, if you need to add any additional, you do have that add category button up at the top. So we're going to use color science as an example. And if I go ahead and click edit, you will notice that you can apply a custom tax rule. So when you first open up your category here, it's going to automatically have that tax rule off. All you need to do is turn the little toggle on. You'll enter in the tax rule, and you will notice that if you do have locations that are potentially in different states, you can specify those different tax rates on a per clinic basis. So once we add that information in, we're going to go ahead and save that accordingly.
And so just if you're curious, I'm going to jump in here. The way that our system works from a logic standpoint is the category is the first place it looks for taxes. So for instance, if it's color science here, if you've got the color science category overall taxed appropriately, so 8%, 8.5, 3 point, whatever it is in your particular state, you don't have to go in, if I'm right, I think I'm right, you don't have to go in and go to each individual color science product and add that in. Just put them all in that category, and that tax rule applies to all things in that category. So it'll save you some time as you're loading in new products.
Definitely. And then we will show you too, if you do have a one-off item that doesn't potentially have tax, we'll show you how to adjust that as well. So step one is adding in that category. So once we've added in the category, you can use the AR products directory to turn things on in your account. But for today, let me go back to your inventory. So if I just click this add product button over here to the right, this is where I add in my offering. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the name of the product. In our scenario today that we're focusing on is retail, because that's, our biggest opportunity. So we mark it as retail. We would choose the category. So if I wanted to go with color science, I can add that in. Cost to company would be your cost for this particular product. So maybe it's, I don't know, $12. You can add in a fun little image. Now that is just for internal use only, but it could help your staff potentially navigate through the different items in your account. And then down here at the bottom, bill for the whole unit, we would select yes, because we don't ever sell like half of a facial cleanser. So we would go ahead and make those selections. And up here on your navigation bar, so you have the ability to add pricing in per location. You can also add in your membership pricing here as well. So the benefit to that is if you do have your patients enrolled in the membership, this pricing would automatically be applied to their cart, at the time of taking a payment. Now you can also select your inventory from this section. So you have the ability to do inventory for your clinic as a whole, but you can also do your inventory tracking per location. So let's say you wanted to separate all of that out, you can adjust that from this menu here. And then your stock alert is just when do you want to be alerted things are actually starting to run low. All right, so we did initially put the tax inside of the category. Now, for this particular scenario, let's say that we have, I don't know, a one-off product that maybe doesn't require tax. You can come in here and adjust that tax rate to 0 if you need to remove the tax. And so once again, that does make it easier on you so that you're not going through, 50 different products and associating tax. So that's definitely going to be the easier way to adjust it. And then one last thing over here, well, we're going to actually talk about this a bit at the end, so we'll loop back to this here. So we're going to take a quick pause. That is how we get any of the retail products into the system. So if we have any questions, there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can click that and you can enter in your question, and then we'll answer it for you. So I'll pause real quick and see if anyone has questions about getting products into the account.
Let's see. Don't see any, so that's good news. If you have a brand new account, if you have a trial account that you're converting to a paid account, the directory that Victoria mentioned, the AR product directory, has all the current products as best we can keep up in the category, like in all of aesthetics, already preloaded. So you can just bring them over. You can just go in and select and search and find them and just add them to your inventory. So you have to actually physically go into each single product and put in the name, the units, all that stuff. It makes it way easier for you.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and move on to the appointments section next. So we're going to take you through.
Do you want to show them real quick how to put the packages together if we wanted to do multiple things in a pair?
We should do that. All right, so that is a great point. So what we're going to do next, everyone, is we are going to actually show you how to build, whether you want to do like a skincare kit or some sort of package that you would like to offer for your patient. So from your Control Center account, if you click the little settings widget, we can go over to promotions. And then here's one of our packages. So from this screen here, you will see any promotions or packages that you've previously created. You can add a brand new discount or a package into your account by clicking Create Discount. And so for our examples that we've created, I'm actually going to pull up one that I've already generated real quick. At home skin recovery. All right. So this is a package that we've created. So if we were a medical spa, we could potentially advertise this as a, skincare kit. At this point in time, you can add additional things into the package. So you can get really creative if you find that there's a facial cleanser and maybe a serum that your patients absolutely love. Maybe you create a package based off of that. So creating this from start to finish, you're going to name the discount. You'll choose package. And you'll also notice you can do any BOGO offers. So if you wanted to do like a buy one, get one, you can implement that as well. Over here to the right, you'll notice that you can enter in your package pricing, and then you can do package pricing for members. And then we're going to go ahead and select that we want this to be a product. And down below here, this is where we actually add in the offerings. And so if I wanted to add maybe an additional serum or something of that sort, I can click this plus sign over here to the right. And then down here at the bottom, I can enter in, let me see, here, we'll just go with that one. So we can enter in the additional product that we would like to add, enter in your quantity, and then the dollar value of that particular offering. Now you will notice down below here, you can choose how long you want this package to be valid for. So maybe it's valid until September when all of the crazy Corona stuff is over. You can incorporate that down here below, and then basically what that does is that'll either show it as available or unavailable through the Aesthetic Record app when you or your staff is taking a payment for that. All right, so that's how we would create the package. So this is
I think the packages are really fun. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but right now these are an interesting idea, because if you've got a lot of retail products at your, I keep saying at your house, like you brought it all home from your clinic to keep it safe. If you've got things that naturally pair together, or people are, let's say they're acneic and they want to have, the perfect cleanser and the right serum and toner, all these, whatever these things are that pair together nicely. If you'll go ahead and bundle them together like this, then to talk about, oh, this is our at-home glow-up kit. It makes it easier in a virtual consultation to tell them within this kit, I love the word kit, or this regimen, whatever you want to call it, you get these 3 things, here's what they do. It makes it a little bit more buttoned up and sophisticated than you selling individual products to a patient. So if we're thinking about customer engagement, like from a patient engagement or client engagement standpoint, it just is a bit more sophisticated to have them all sort of bundled together. So I would go through what you have right now and think about how you compare things together, and even offer maybe even a small discount for it, that's just going on right now. Because I think it's a much easier way to sell through a lot of products at once versus a onesie, twosie all day long. Because if you're in a virtual consult, maximize the time you're on the, on screen, and try to maximize the revenue and also the patient results too. So, but I think we could also show them too on the POS settings, once they've built these packages, how they could put these all in an organized fashion inside the point of sale.
Yeah.
Can we go there next? Oh, we have a question. Let's see.
We do have a question.
We have a question. It's the retail price. So we have a question about the dollar value. So this is the patient-facing price. So for us on the cost to company measure, when you looked at the inventory, that's where the account will put in their cost to company. So no matter what they sell the package for, if they sell it for a deep discount or whatever they want to choose to sell it for, they're still paying you back as the vendor the same amount of money. So it's cost to company for the inventory screens, which is internal facing, and then the package price is what the patient sees externally facing.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, so now that we've gone through how to add specific promotions or packages into your account, now we're going to take you through some quick buttons that you can add to the Aesthetic Record app. So this will make it really easy for you and your staff as you are, doing your virtual consultations with patients. You'll have a button on the app that you can click, and you could see potentially, all of your current offers. So up here, so just to kind of backtrack, so we're at settings, POS, and then POS quick buttons. And so if we do add a POS quick button, So maybe we name this skincare recovery options or anything of that sort. We can, name the button accordingly. Now, if we click add package down below, so I'm just going to call this test. So at home, here we go. So this was that package we created that had a couple of different serums in it, as well as, I don't know, maybe some sunscreen. So once we add that in, we can save it. And then what we'll do is we'll take you guys to the Aesthetic Record app, and we'll show you where this button actually shows up. And so let me go back here, skincare kits, Tiffany's favorite word. So here are all of our kits.
Kits.
And
you can have lots of them. You can have 10 of them, but they're all organized into one button, so they're easy to check out. You don't have to go search for them all over the POS system.
Exactly. So just keep this in mind. So skincare kits. So when we go to the app, we'll show you guys where this button actually translates over to on the checkout screen. All right. And then memberships, we'll take a look at that. All right. So for those of you who haven't really looked into the membership opportunities with Aesthetic Record yet, we'll take you through that today. And then I know Tiffany has quite a few little tips and tricks that she'll share with everyone as well. So inside of your account, if you're under POS Patient Loyalty, you have the option to do your membership program over to the right. Now you do have the ability to do a single membership or multiple. So multiple would be maybe you have, a body contouring club, an injectables club, and then a skincare club. That would be multiple. And then maybe at that point in time, down below, oops, that would help if I hit save. Let me save that. So down below, you'll notice that this is where we actually build the particular membership. And so if we click edit, this is where we're setting up those discounts. We can choose whether it's a monthly or a yearly membership, and then as well as those membership fees. And this would be a great time right now. Well, I'll talk about it here in just a minute, but you have the ability to set up special coupons for your memberships. And so this would be a really, really fantastic time. Maybe you give your patients, the next 2 months complimentary, and then they're in your membership for the next year. So there are additional ways that you can start to accumulate that revenue within your business, but down here below, you will notice that you can tie free products or services into that membership. And so that would be a way to utilize this, but the other portion that I wanted to show you guys. So inside of our membership program, you will notice down here that, it says, do you want to add the membership fees into the patient's wallet? So this would be a really, really great way to continue to capture those current members that you have. I know that a lot of practices, they're a little nervous. They want to cancel the memberships or put them on hold, but there are still ways that you can capture that revenue and, continue those relationships with your patients even though you can't physically see them. And so this would be a way that you can do that. You can add those membership fees into the patient's wallet, and then maybe you allow them to bank those dollars. And so let's say, if they come into your practice in September, they can go ahead and use those fees towards products or services in regards to that.
So on that point, I'll give you a few thoughts on that right now. So if you think about this membership in the patient's wallet, many of our customers don't do that. So they have just like a membership fee that you pay every month, and then you get a free service for it, or you get something, you're entitled to more discounts. Right now, obviously, you're not getting any services. So if that's the way your membership is set up today, what you could do right now is to turn this on and toggle it on and let patients know that instead of putting it on hold or canceling it or turning them out of the membership, that instead for this month or two, however long it is, you'll put the money directly in the patient's wallet and let them use that money towards the skincare kits or particular products. They could also bank it and roll it forward. But the idea here would be that instead of losing them now, maybe forever because they want to put it on hold or cancel it, we could let them know that, nope, for this, 1 or 2 months only, we're going to let you put that money down in your wallet as like a prepay for other products. So if you aren't using that now, it might be a good way to kind of save people from saying, we're not going to get anything done this month, no services, we don't want the membership, we're done with it. So just a way to kind of capture some recurring revenue. Okay.
Awesome. All right, we'll take another quick pause. Any questions?
We have the Q&A. Oh.
Thanks. You're welcome.
You're welcome. If you're not doing memberships, if you ever heard me talk at anything ever, I'm a membership person. I love them. It's recurring revenue that you can predict. You think about paying your bills, even when you come back from the COVID-19 craziness. If you have memberships in your clinic in any form or fashion, then you know for that day of the month, every month, that you have X amount of dollars coming in. If no patients show up that day, or if they do, either way, you have guaranteed income for that day. So as a safety net, if you've not used them prior to now, I'd recommend that you think about putting them into play ASAP when you come back, if you don't have them already, because it is a way to have predictable revenue in the clinic. So if you want help with that, if you have one patient, you're big enough for a membership program. That's all you need is one patient, and you can qualify to have memberships. Okay, we have a hand raiser. Alyssa, do you want to put your Q&A in the little question box? And we'll get you answered. We'll go on to the next part, and then if we get the questions that slot in, we'll pause and answer them.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so what we're going to take you through next is the ability for treatment plans. So treatment plans are an additional way that your practice can capture revenue, whether it be on a monthly basis or a pay-as-you-go basis. But what we'd like to take you through, so once again, we're at settings, clinical documentation, and then treatment plan templates. So you'll notice in here we have quite a few options. Now we have created the skincare recovery plan down below, down at the bottom here. All right. So the purpose of this right now, so the reason we're bringing this up is because right now we can do a lot with retail. So whether you're shipping those products out directly from your practice, you could potentially put a patient on a plan. Our plan right here, it's 6 months long, and it's the recovery plan. And the purpose of our plan is to reduce fine lines and increase hydration. Who wouldn't want that? So down here, if we go into treatment plan month 1, so this is going to allow you to insert particular products. And so once your practice does open up, you can utilize this obviously for services and mix and match that with products. But for the state of everything right now, it's a really, really great tool to utilize for retail items. And so in this section here, you're entering in what product that patient, basically is being recommended. You can use this plus sign over to the right to enter in additional. Let's see here, maybe we want to add that in. So maybe they get one item of this. So moving on down though, basically this is going to allow you to customize every single month. And so if you did put your patient on a plan, maybe they're getting like a 30-day supply of a facial cleanser or something of that sort, this would be an automatic payment to your practice. And once you receive that payment, then you can obviously ship that item out accordingly. But this would be a great way for you to stay in touch with your patients, keep them on track with their skincare goals while collecting that additional revenue.
Yeah, so we're going to show you, there's a question about using this in the consultation. We're going to show you how this fits into the patient's overall chart, because ideally, let's say in this exact scenario, the skincare plan, a patient would come in, you might recommend or prescribe to them the first 2 products being their individual kit. And then you could tell them, for your first month, these are going to be the products you're going to use right now. And then next month, you'll end up with your chemical pill, and then your microderm, and then your this, and then your that. So they're paying towards a subscription. And we'll show you how that looks for the patient to see the subscription, where they can either pay as they go each month or start immediately with a subscription pay, taking all 6 months treatments and dividing them out by 6. And they're paying a stipend or a particular component of that plan over 6 months. So your kit or your skincare consult right now could be your first installment on that month 1. And we'll show you when we log Maddie Roberts' treatment in just a second. We'll show you how that looks for her as she decides to go ahead and engage in the treatment plan. But it's fantastic for virtual consults.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to get my iPad screen projected here so you guys can all take a look at this.
Oh, we have another hand raised. I love when you guys ask questions. It makes me so happy. Let's see here. Although I don't see it coming up here.
You lost it?
Amy, I saw you had a question, but I've lost it. I don't see it anymore. So sorry.
Here.
As we go into thinking about this, did you see it, Victoria?
No, but we can chat her.
While you're doing that, so one of the things kind of bridging the gap between the retail product component and this as I go and log the procedure is if you're using telehealth already, great. If you're not, it's super simple to set up and it's included in your plan with AR already. But the idea is that you can create the services, the virtual services in the system. So when they go to online booking, they can click and do a virtual consult for skincare. And then as you're on the call with your, with your patient, essentially, the things you'll see next around charting, logging, kind of billing out the plan, the treatment plans or the retail products all come sort of next. So in between what we just showed you and then what you're going to see on the patient side is like that virtual consult in the middle, which obviously, as Victoria mentioned, HIPAA compliant, super simple to do. It's, one click and they're in. But we can help you set that up too to do like a virtual clinic for your office if you'd like that as well. So, and that's going to be done in the control center that you just saw where Victoria was. We can help you go through all the clinic settings there. Oh, we can show them the Fitzpatrick skin typing too as well. We haven't shown that on a webinar yet. If we wanted to show the skin type.
Things. All right, so we've got two questions. Okay, so are we notified when the treatment plans are completed or do we have to manually check? So in today's state of the system, you would basically be checking. Now, if I go, let me pull up my reports real quick. Treatment plans. I might have to get you screenshots from my other account, Amy, because this one that I'm in right now doesn't have any pretend treatment plans.
And then to Brad's question, so he had a question about if you're in the treatment plan right now and they do pay as you go, what makes them not, like, why would they not forego the treatment plan if the cost to pay as you go is cheaper than the monthly subscription? So Brad, when I think about a treatment plan, I think about bundling and the idea that if you're guaranteeing, it's like money in, money in the hand today better than potential money later. If you're in the treatment plan idea, you can bundle all those services for 6 months into one overall price and then offer like a group discount on top of it, even if it's a small discount, just like a volume discount, then hopefully you're always better off to do it as a lesser charge. Yes, Victoria, answer the question live. I just saw you want to answer it live. But I think that if you're paying as you go, then paying as you go is more of like, here's your treatment roadmap that we want you to comply with in the next 6 months, where the actual paid plan is saying, we're committing to this. You're going to get all these things for hopefully a little bit lesser cost, as long as you stay on the regimen. Hopefully that answered it. But I think obviously if you want people to be able to do additional coupons and discounts throughout the months that they're on the plan, the patient will also have a place to put some of that money too. But ideally we keep them on that subscription plan each month with a routine pay each month. I think the pay as you go isn't as beneficial as the actual like subscription payment.
All right, awesome. You can see my iPad screen, right, Tiffany?
Yeah, let me.
Maybe.
I can, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So for anyone that is new, there is an Aesthetic Record iPad and an iPhone app. And so all you have to do is download that app to your device. You log in with your credentials, and then that takes you directly into your account. So everything you do on the web or the app, vice versa, it all transmits data back and forth because it's all part of the same account. So what we're going to take you guys through next here is if you are doing that virtual consultation, a couple of different ways that you can log procedures through the Aesthetic Record app. So way number one is going to be through the health timeline. So let's say that you are doing your virtual consultation with a patient. You will notice up here at the top, you have your cosmetic timeline, which that's probably what most of you are currently working on. And then you also have your health timeline. So inside of the health timeline, this will allow us to customize that treatment. Now, the biggest difference here is the health timeline is going to allow you to track prescriptions, and the health timeline does not allow for any photos. So this is obviously a great tool if you are doing like a consultation of some sort, or physical even. You can utilize this method. Now, if we view this particular patient's procedure, maybe. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill this out real quick. This is just one of my little test forms. Now, you can use dot phrases, and then you can also create a form that you could fill out, you know, if you are the practitioner. So we'll go ahead and we'll save this. All right, so now that we've documented her procedure, we've just kind of gone through and filled out a basic SOAP note. You can add in any recommendations or notes that you have. So if we click on this Add Note button, you as a practitioner would be able to add in any particular notes. Now, you will also notice that your dot phrases will tie into this section as well. So we can send information out if you are wanting to know a little bit more about dot phrases. We do have a learning center that can kind of provide you with how to create those, but it's a really great tool because you can pre-configure all of your notes and then you can easily insert them. So where's our skin?
I think we have a virtual skincare in there somewhere, don't we?
I thought we had, I don't know, we'll do this. Virtual evaluation. So on this, you can insert any of the appropriate information. Now, you can also type out additional information. So if I wanted to put, you know, here's the recommendation that we have for skincare, we can insert that data or that information, and then we're just saving it, you know, as follows. So if I go ahead
and you can make those dot phrases whatever you want, by the way. They'll come preloaded in your account, but you can make dot phrases. If you have specific things that you want to mention, it just takes basically, as opposed to typing the same thing over and over again for every patient, you can just save it as a template, and then you just put in like dot skincare consult, and it will just populate for you.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that if you're in the new healthcare, or the new health timeline on the desktop app or the desktop control center, it's much more robust because that's where you're doing your prescriptions and your labs and things, to Victoria's point. So on the provider app, you're not seeing nearly as many bells and whistles, if you will, on the health timeline as you will on the desktop app. So thinking about more of a medical slant to it from the desktop version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we can take you guys through that as well. So real quick though, like one of the last pieces to the app, so when we talk about taking those payments for skincare, you can click this Take a Payment button. So maybe you do that consultation with your patient, and we decide that the Glow Up, or let me see here, maybe we decide that the Glow Up package is the right combination of skincare items for your patient. We can add that directly into the cart. Now you will notice it did auto insert my consultation fee, so you can just remove that if you don't have a consultation fee, but I had entered in 100. Now in my package here that we previously created, you'll notice that I have two different items. At this point in time, I'm going to actually ship this to the patient, so I don't necessarily want it to go to the wallet, so I'm just going to swipe left so that I'm actually removing it from the wallet. And then what I can do at this point in time is I can go ahead and finalize this invoice here. And then this will actually give you the ability to send that patient a digital receipt. So if we wanted to do email receipt, I can go ahead and email it to that address. And then that would be finalizing the transaction. Now I am going to pop back over to the web real quick. Yeah. Oh, Tiffany, I don't know if I can hear you right now.
Will you click on the skin type just to show them a quick overview of the Fitzpatrick scoring that we have?
Yes. Yeah. All right. So on your Aesthetic Record app, you will notice that you have the Fitzpatrick skin type right over here. So if we hit Test Now, this will allow you to enter in all of the particular, I'll just fill this out real quick. And there's a Done button in the top right. All right, so once we complete that, it will go ahead and populate, you know, the points and then the skin type associated, and that will be date and time stamped to the account. So if you ever need to come back in and retake it, you can always click this button over here to the right.
Okay, so while you're moving over, we had some questions I'll answer. So one is about the differences in memberships and treatment plans. So the membership is going to be the same for all people in your practice. So whether it's Victoria or me or Sally or Joe or Bob or whomever, if we're all part of the VIP membership, we get the same benefits at the same cost every month. So it's like joining the gym, where the treatment plan's like your personal trainer. You're going to have different exercises, different frequencies, different everything than the other person next to you. So the treatment plan is an individualized plan that's only for you based on your particular needs. And so they're taking all the things that you need to have done in those 6 months, in our example here, and saying, this is your, Tiffany, this is your specific roadmap for success based on your issues. And the cost of this and on the aggregate is, you know, $1,000, which you can pay over 6 months. You'll pay X amount of dollars each month. That at the end of it will have given you all the things recommended at the same time intervals that we agreed to, and you would have paid it in full. So think about memberships as for everyone, and subscription plans or treatment plans are specific to the patient that you're dealing with directly. And then we had another question about have we ever thought about voice texting or voice notes. So the answer is yes. I'll give you a couple quick thoughts on that. So if we do voice to text notes, unfortunately, Google Translate and Amazon Translate, they don't often know words like Botox or hyaluronic acid or Hylenex. So a lot of the words have to be trained in the vocabulary. So we're actually working on that actively to teach the transcription services how to know our words. So if you think about a lot of skincare ingredients are really complex words that you wouldn't have in the regular English language. So it has to not only recognize your voice, but spell and recognize the products that you're mentioning. And so dot phrases are a very easy way to standardize your charting where things are all done correctly. But it is coming. We hope at some point very soon. But I will tell you that your virtual consultations are all transcribed. So those will all be in your patient's notes as a transcription, like a file. But yes, we love voice to text. And for now, dot phrases are a much more guaranteed way to have accuracy. So artificial intelligence is coming for you.
There is the ability, if you do have Siri enabled on your keyboard as well, that's another good tool to use too. So yeah.
But here's our plan to your question. Here's our plan that Maddie Roberts needs for her skin.
All right.
Do you want to show us how to find it on the chart?
Yeah. So if we go into our patients tab, we're just searching, we search for Maddie Roberts, and then you will have this treatment plan section right in here. So if the patient does not have a treatment plan already in their profile, it will give you the option to create a plan for them. You can create a specific plan just for that patient, but you can also use the generalized plans that you've already created in your account. And so at this point, you know, it'll mention out the goal of the plan. And most importantly, though, this will be great to share with your patient. So it lists out the total, and then it will also break out on a per month, you know, what this would potentially be costing the patient. And so once again, that would be an automatic payment that your practice accepts. It's all done, you know, without you actually having to worry about anything on the back end. And then so
can you click the edit button?
Yeah.
Just real quick. We had a question about can you cancel or can you delete this out?
So we can't, well, that's something that's coming
soon. You
can
just stop it.
Yeah. So let me see here, let me look at the questions. Can you delete a treatment plan? Amy, for your question, would that be a plan that you've already started or just one that you were kind of playing around with that you want to delete? Well, I guess I'll answer both of those scenarios. So if you were just kind of playing around here, they are working on the ability to be able to delete this out. That'll be a button that'll basically be showcased at the bottom to delete. Now, if your patient is in an active treatment plan, you'll have the ability to cancel the plan or stop the plan. And then that would show up in the history of that profile. Alrighty. Let's see here.
You're going to start it. Sorry, I distracted you. You're going to hit start. And I distracted you.
No, you're good. All right.
On the plan,
so if we hit our little start button here, so this is where you can choose what clinic this is associated with. You can enter in those card details. And then when a patient is on a treatment plan, so for instance, let's say that, you know, maybe they're getting a facial or a chemical peel every so often, you can select this item right here to have things delete out of the wallet. So let's say you had a facial that was going into the wallet every month. You would basically just have that expire out. Now, with today's state of things, I probably would just leave this as is, not having that box checked so that they can continue to get those skincare items from you. Down at the bottom, you can enter in any particular discount. So maybe you're running, you know, a 10% off discount on this. We can enter that in. We hit apply, and then that will calculate that new monthly total. So once we have all the details filled out, we can click that start program, and then that's when everything will start automatically happening on the back end.
And if somebody's a member of your clinic and on a treatment plan, remember, if you were in the membership, you could just send that money to the wallet directly, the $99 or $100, whatever it is. that could then be part of like their wallet money. So it's in addition to this, they can have both credits in the wallet from memberships, but also have this as a separate entity. So they could actually be on both things and you'd be totally fine.
Perfect. All right, so let's see here. So got to get all my little Zoom windows out of the way. All right, so as far as kind of recapping on everything, we're going to go through a few more things with inventory. So make sure it's Friday, right, Tiffany, for our inventory webinar, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so we have another with suppliers on Friday.
Yeah, so this will be in addition to kind of what we're going to go over today, but we're just briefly touching on the surface. But Friday, if you tune in at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we will take you through some of the new items that we've added, like supplier information and POs, things of that sort. So be sure to tune in. But to kind of recap, so let's say that you have completed all of your sales for the day or your virtual consultations. We do still recommend that you are reconciling your inventory just because there are things kind of moving in and out. So in this inventory reconciliation, I can choose that I'd like to reconcile all of my products. And we'll just use this first one as an example here. So do keep in mind that when you take a payment through the app, you will, the system will automatically deduct those items from your active inventory. So those numbers will always be up to date here. But let's say that, I don't know, maybe your dog got a hold of a facial cleanser and now you've got to throw it away. So if that were the case, inside of this section here, we can go ahead and change the stock. So if I change my stock to 7, I can go ahead and click solve. And then obviously the purpose here would be a damage. Now, just keep in mind, you can choose different items here. So maybe it's expired or you sampled it out. Whatever the case may be, you're going to go ahead and do that. Dog ate it.
Which is a great option right now to that point. If you wanted to throw somebody in a little free sample of something in their little kit that you're sending out, then you could just sample it here, maybe put the patient's name and notes, because you can report on all of this. So you'd be able to say for that patient or for this particular stock change, it was a sample and it went to Tiffany Lopez, you know, whatever, great customer or something. So all this is reportable on your everyday inventory reconciliation.
All right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and save this. So you would basically at the end of every day, and this will be really important too whenever your practice does open back up, you'll want to have your staff really work through this every day because it will give you a lot of reporting. And so at any point in time, if there's ever a discrepancy, you have many different reports you can look at in here to make sure that, oh, you know, there wasn't actually theft, it was damaged, etc. So what we're going to do now is if I go ahead and click Save and Update, this will just ask us to verify that all this information is correct. So we'll save that, and then, so the nice thing about this is any changes that have taken place on today's reconciliation, I would be able to then go and backtrack and view all of that data, you know, at any point in time. So that will save that basically into this section here. And then, so right up here where it says View Past Reconciled Reports, we'll go to Lovely Lines and today's date. So then once again, that's where we can pull that information from our damage today. All right, do we have any questions about that right now, about reconciling?
We have some folks that are happy about new inventory features. So if you are an existing user and you have multiple clinics, you may have noticed that we didn't have the same reconciliation at the clinic level. That is a new part of this reconciliation report. So per clinic, as you're thinking about getting ready for the go back day that will hopefully come inevitably soon, you may want to take this time to go through and like physically count out your stock and assign, I've got this many Color Science products here, this many Skin Better here, this many revisions here, and be able to separate them out by clinic, because now it's an option in the reconciliation report. So that's a new feature that we've had. And then also a way to use this too, if you're an existing customer or a new customer as well, is I'll give you an example. So Galderma did the Ray-Ban promotion recently where they gave Ray-Bans away. You could actually call those codes inventory, and you could assign those inventory items out as retail to each clinic. So if you have, 3 clinics, you bought enough to have 15 different Ray-Ban codes, and you want to give each clinic 5, you could build the Ray-Ban codes as stock in your system, and then be able to reconcile those at the end of each day or week to say, hey, we're out of codes, we need more, and you could actually transfer those codes, which you'll see how to do that on Friday. You could transfer that stock, the Ray-Ban codes, in between different offices. So I think if we look at the amount of promotions coming from vendors who've been so gracious to help all of us in this time of need, they're looking at doing promos and discounts and things. You can now track all that in the system. There'll be another big integration coming very soon that you'll be really happy about, but that's a different story entirely. But point being, you can now track codes in here too. So I know that New Talks, Jeuveau did a big promotion that I think expires today with $100 off discount cards. Those are the kind of things that you can actually put in the system now and track those per clinic. So anything else we have in our Q&A? What time are we at? Oh, we're 2:48.
We've been talking a lot.
I know. So you may, if you are an existing user, you're probably seeing the word standard packages on there. We're going to go through that. It's actually been submitted to the App Store today, the Apple App Store, to be part of your Aspire. I'm talking about Ray-Ban sunglasses, part of your AR app. So we'll probably go over the packages next week and how to put like recipes together for different charting groups that all kind of work together than our individual products. So standard packages we'll cover, I'm sure, next week. We'll do all the inventory, other components on Friday, but we have virtual events tomorrow. We have prescribing in the system on Thursday, and then the back end of inventory on Friday. So a whole week full of fun things to learn. I hope that you found some value in this with your retail products and your virtual consultations, packaging things together and sending them out. I just was working with a customer on getting cute little boxes that are really inexpensive. You can put like a sticker on there and get them shipped through ShipStation pretty inexpensively. So if you've not shipped products before, we recommend ShipStation as a big option for you. They're pretty inexpensive. You can print the labels at home, or get the little like things to tape on your boxes. And then if you've got some stickers, even something as easy as putting them in a white box, tissue paper over it, put a sticker on it, make it look and feel like your clinic and look really fancy. Throw a little discount coupon in there if you want or something. But I think there's a retail opportunity right now at the virtual clinic. You can do skin typing, you can do recommendations, you can ship things out. There's a lot of value there with that, and also treatment plans and memberships to keep revenue going as we're obviously not doing services. So Q&A, what do we have? Oh, I'm glad it was helpful. I appreciate that, Alicia. If you have any questions, thoughts, or closing ideas that you want us to answer, feel free to shout them out now, or go to our site and start a chat. We'll be on standby to help you guys, and we'll put this webinar on our YouTube channel. And then at the end of the week, we'll do a full wrap-up of all of them together in a newsletter where you can just click and watch them if you want to. So this will be 4 hours of webinar content for you guys to dive into. But anything else, Victoria, that you've got for us before we sign off?
No, I think that's it. So we appreciate everyone for joining, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Bye. Enjoy your day.